Hey, welcome to another fingerstyle guitar arrangement lesson. Now, remember, for these lessons, the key is for you to take away the concepts and the systematic and structured approach to arranging this song and apply it to any song that you like, so you can use these skills and play your favorite songs on fingerstyle guitar. Alright, so the song we're going to be using as a means to learn these techniques is from this book. It's called Slave Songs of the United States. It's from 1867. It's an amazing book. It's got so much history in it. This is one of the earliest compilations of African American folk songs. So the song we're going to be doing is a familiar one. It's called Michael Row the Boat Ashore. Alright, it's pretty well known. I know you can't see it here, so I've got my iPad and I'm going to be taking a photo so that you can follow along. Alright, let's take this photo now. Here we go. This is the song. Hey, I don't want you to be afraid. You don't need to be able to read notation. I'm just using the notation on the book so that you have a visual reference and you can follow along better as we make this fingerstyle arrangement. Alright, let's go. First, let's just sing the song. It's written in the key of E flat major, but I'm going to be singing it in E major because it suits my voice better. Alright, let's go. Michael row the boat ashore, hallelujah. Michael bore the gospel boat, hallelujah. Alright, now what we're gonna do, we're gonna transfer this melody, transform it into solfege, and this is what it'll sound like. What is solfege? Well, solfege is a system where we apply a syllable to every single note within a musical scale. So in this case, we are in the key of E major. So our musical scale will be using solfege syllables, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And that's it, alright? So every note that we sing is going to have a syllable attached to it. And this will allow us to understand where in the scale it lies and allow us to better map it onto the guitar. Do, mi, so, la, so, mi, so, la, so, do, mi, re, mi, re, do. And there we go. Now, the next step is we're gonna immediately transfer this onto the guitar. And how are we gonna do that? Well, we are in the key of E major, so first we need our E major scale. Okay, how did I play that scale? How do you learn that scale? How do you even manage that? Well, I've got good news for you. I've got all these guides prepared for you. Now, this is the printed version, but you can go download them from my website. The link is all in the description below. They're completely free. So I've got the scale position guide, the chord position guide, and also the solfege harmony guide. And it's going to have all the materials that you need to follow along with this lesson and arrange your own fingerstyle guitar songs. So the scale that I'm using here is in the scale position guide, and it's basically the E major open scale position. So just follow the fretboard diagram and play along with the scale. Alright, let's go. And if we sing solfege along with it, and for your solfege needs, you can go to the solfege harmony guide, and it has all the solfege syllables that you need for any scale that we'll be covering. In this case, we're just using the major scale, alright? So go download the solfege harmony guide and sing along to the scale as you're playing it on the guitar. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do. So now that we know where each solfege syllable maps onto the guitar through the scale position, we can immediately play out this melody on the guitar. Alright, so this is how it goes. Do, mi, so, la, so, mi, so, la, so, do, mi, re, mi, re, do. And that's it. That's the whole melody here. So now what we're going to do next is we're going to harmonize this melody, okay? We're just going to add chords to it. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to blank out the words so that I have some space to write my chords, okay? So let's just blank this out. Alright, so the first part we've got do, mi, so, la, so. So we've got so many do, mi, so. This do, mi, so immediately tells me that it's in chord number 1. There's this la, so, but that's just a little bit of an embellishment, alright? That doesn't tell me that it's a key melody note in this part. So do, mi, so tells me it's chord number 1. Chord number 1 in the key of E major is E major chord. Alright, so I'm going to write chord number 1 over here. I'm going to be using Roman numerals to write it. You can write it in numbers, whatever you want, alright? Alright, was that really confusing? That's okay. This stuff is not easy, alright? But the more that you do it, the more you will be used to it and the process will just become second nature to you. Alright, so what do I mean by saying Do, Mi, So is really obviously chord number 1? Well, if you look at the solfege harmony guide, for the major scale, you're gonna have chords that are built up on every scale degree. And chord number 1 has Do, Mi, So in it, so that's why the chord fits in so well with the melody in this point. And I say chord number 1 is because we are building up chords on every single scale degree of the key. So chord number 1 is going to be E major because it's the chord that's built up with the root as the E note. Alright, so I hope that's helpful. Let's get back to it. So we've got Do, Mi, So, 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 La, So, Mi, So, La. This La is an important note. Why? It takes up the entire bar and it's on a strong beat, and it just takes up the entire bar. This whole bar needs to have this La as a key melody note. Now, what chord has La as a key melody note? Well, the most obvious choice is going to be chord number 4. Why? Because it's a subdominant function chord and we are moving from a tonic function chord to a subdominant function chord, which is, in this case, A major, chord number 4. So I'm just going to put chord number 4 over here. Again, if you look at your solfege harmony guide, chord number 4 has the note La inside of it. Now, what do I mean by subdominant chord? Well, there are 3 main functions of chords. There's tonic, subdominant, and dominant. And the tonic chord wants to move to the subdominant chord, which then wants to move to the dominant chord and then resolve back to the tonic. So you can think of these chords as chord 1 as a tonic chord, chord 4 as a subdominant chord, and chord 5 as the dominant chord. And basically that's all of Western music for you. It's starting from a place of rest, going to increasing amounts of tension and then resolving that tension. Alright, so that's how functional harmony works for you, and that's why we're moving from tonic to subdominant. We're increasing the amount of tension. Mi, So, La, So, and it goes back to So, and this is probably going to go back to chord number 1 because it sounds like the melody is kind of resolving there. Now, So could also theoretically be chord number 5, right? Because chord 5 has So inside. But let's hear how that sounds in this arrangement. If we have Do, Mi, So, 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 La, So, Mi, So, La, So, that doesn't really work because La, So, the melody feels like it's resolved from that chord number 4. So instead it's going to be ending on a chord 1, and this is how it will sound like. Do, Mi, So, 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 La, So, Mi, So, La, So. That fits better. So this is going to be chord number 1. Alright, let's go to the second line. So, Do, Do, So, So, Mi, Re. Basically, we've got So, Do, Mi. These are notes in chord number 1. Most obvious choice is still going to be chord number 1. So I'm just going to write that here. Okay? So this is how it sounds like. So, Do, Do, So, So, Mi. Now it's going to Re. Now, Re can't be chord number 4. So we're just going to go to a chord that has Re as one of its chord tones. And in this case, it's going to be chord number 5. Okay, so I'm just going to put chord number 5 over here. Again, it couldn't be chord number 4 because chord number 4 doesn't have Re inside of it. But chord 5 has Re, and that's why I chose chord number 5. Re, in this case, it's going to be B major. Re. So we've got Re, So, So. It's going straight to So, So. So that's all in chord number 5. We are good. Mi, Re, Do. Mi is going to be chord number 1 because it's a chord tone of chord number 1. Mi, Re, Do. This little Re, I'm going to make it a chord number 5. Do, the last chord is probably going to be chord number 1, alright? Because it's a Do note and, you know, it resolves the song, so it's going to be a tonic function chord. And this is what the whole song sounds like in solfege and harmony. Do, Mi, So, 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 La, So, Mi, So, La, So, So, Do, Do, So, So, Mi, Re, So, So, Mi, Re, Do. Alright, simple arrangement. Of course, you can do more complex chords. You can do 7th chords, you can reharmonize it, but this is the foundational harmony that will work for this song. Alright, so what we're going to do next, we're going to play it on guitar. We are making a fingerstyle arrangement after all. So I'm just going to play the bass note of each chord along with the melody, and this is what it will sound like. all that's left to do is to fill up the rest of the space with arpeggios of the chords, right? You can tinkle around. As long as you have the bass and the melody there, whatever you play in between is just going to be adding a little bit more texture to the song. So this is the final arrangement of this piece. There you have it. So I hope that you enjoyed learning these concepts, and I want you to apply them to your favorite songs. And let me know if you have any questions. I'll be more than happy to address them. Alright, so until next time, I will see you again. Goodbye.